Hey there everybody, it's Melissa Ramos, nutritionist, acupuncturist, and owner and creator of Sexy Food Therapy. In this video tutorial, I wanted to be able to speak to you about meditation. Meditation is one of those things where usually when I tell people to do it, they don't do it. They, have all these sort of preconceived notions. Maybe they don't have time, they say, or another thing will be like, well, I can't slow down my brain. And I wanted to be able to speak to you about various techniques that you can use for meditation, and also how much it's actually helped to improve my life. For the longest time, I grappled with anxiety, sort of a closet anxiety sufferer, depression as well, where it just almost hurt to get out of bed. And I found that when I started to meditate, while it was difficult, by doing it and really incorporating it in as a practice, really helped me out, both for not only myself physically, but also mentally. I found that it was probably one of the most important things that I incorporated into my health. So you can work out, you can take supplements, you can eat all the right delicious foods, but if you're not slowing down your brain, then it's going to be really difficult to be able to help with digestive issues. It's going to be really difficult to overcome a lot of hormonal-based issues. I mean, PCOS, not the number one, but the overarching issue is stress. And that's something that really needs to be taken care of, because let's face it, in a North American society, everything was due yesterday. The first kind of meditation that I want to talk to you about is one called concentration. So essentially what that group of category is when you're counting your breath and when you're concentrating on something in particular. The problem is that a lot of people end up saying, well, I can't calm down my brain. I can't do meditation because if I do meditation, what's going to end up happening is I have all these thoughts and I'm just going to think, well, screw it. I can't do this. This is too difficult. I'm never going to be able to make my brain completely quiet. Well, it's really difficult to do that for most of us. So this is a kind of meditation that is difficult for a lot of people, unless you're a Buddhist monk and you've been meditating, in a monastery for 40 years of your life. Now you may have tried this one, and really it's where maybe you could be listening to a guided CD. This is sort of like Yoga Nidra. In Yoga Nidra, you are essentially being guided for the entire time. Now I find this really relaxing for myself personally, but there is some schools of thought where your brain isn't fully relaxing because you're listening, so your neural pathways are still being stimulated the entire time. Now, you might have noticed this at the end of a yoga practice, they will chant Om, Hare Krishnas, will have their own chant as well. So this is another type of meditation that you can practice. Then we get to the last form of meditation. So what transcending is where you're listening to music. So what happens is in the beginning, you're thinking and thinking and thinking, and thoughts are going through your head. And then the brain begins to slowly relax and it goes into sort of a transcending state. So you go from a beta waves and then you go to a delta waves. So a very, very deep, relaxing type of meditation. And in the Sexy Liver Detox, I'm actually providing 5 different kinds of transcending meditations, because I feel that this is a really great place for a lot of beginners, because essentially all you're doing is listening to music and letting the music guide you into more of a relaxing, transcending state. So what I wanted to provide in this video tutorial are some acupressure points, which I find really helpful. And then the last thing, I thought that we could do a 5-minute transcending meditation together. This is Pericardium point 6. What this is used for is not only nausea, so anybody out there who's feeling morning sickness, this would be a great point. This is a really great point when you're feeling emotional and even when you're feeling anxious. So if you feel these emotions, press on pericardium number 6. So the next point that I want to talk to you about is liver 3. So liver 3 is essentially, you're going to get your finger or your thumb and you're going to trail it just down probably about here. So it's in between these two bones of your foot, and it's about roughly maybe about 1.5 inches from the wedge of your toe. Now you're going to press on here firmly, and this is really great to soothe the liver. This is liver 3 and it's awesome for soothing the liver. Very good if you're feeling angry or frustrated, and it's a great point, especially if you're going through a detox.